This is Katie Wha'Nitah take whatever it was that I have. With HJR Seminars, LLC. Topic today is Reconnecting with the Organic Holographic Earth Records, a harmonizing journey with Katie Wha'Nitah. And part of this is understanding mind control, artificial mind control that's going on, and how we so easily got caught up in it. So starting out kind of looking at being careful of being caught up in dogma or finite, rigid mindsets. These mindsets can end up trapping us, even the really good ones, because we become dependent on them, right? We stopped tuning into our breath, our eternal internal pillar of peace within us, our core of our being, right? Feeling the unified field flowing through us, like we did as a child. Okay? As we know with Chelonic science, the unified field comes within us. We process it with our apartheid receivers. We must live it within our eternal core, and then create up in front of us a holographic template reality reflection of what we actually a moment before experienced within us. And when we go within our eternal core, there's no time. It's just a feeling experience of reality. And so yes, so the reflected out is actually the past. And so the more that we can become in tune with this pillar core, the more that we can learn through the utilization of our breath how to navigate, surf, using our breath in kind of free flow. How to navigate kind of our vibratory oscillating frequency pulsing through us, our breath, whether it's going fast or slow or medium, or we're holding, or we're just rhythmically flowing with the breath. We can, as that unified field comes within us, we can regulate it and control it to quite a certain extent. We can slow it down, look at it, feel it out, and as we manifest it up, we can look, okay, what am I manifesting in front of me? Maybe I need to change it a little bit, or it's really awesome. In that case, you can really breathe into it more to increase the quantum thrust of it. Okay? Remember, we are it, capital I, capital T, okay? So what feels genuinely good aligns with who we are as the all that is, God source, first eternal, Ayah, Ayah. So what doesn't really feel right usually means it's going against who we are, which means we're living in finite second creation mechanics, or as I kind of like to, and also saying, or what also could be said is net Earth, right? Or AI technology is kind of other terms, or fallen angelic technology if you're a chaoser. So really be careful of getting caught up in the rigid dogma of religion. Those would be a good example. Societal laws, or kind of another way of thinking of it is groupthink. We tend to give our power away, or our power of discernment away, our ability to navigate through the unified field, morphogenetic field of life. We're then vulnerable at that point to mind control, whatever form that takes. Okay, we have taken ourselves out of the surfing driver's seat and kind of almost like giving our brains away to something else that we just kind of connect, mimic with, flow with. But we're not in our eternal core so much anymore. Okay? Righty. Okay. And this this brings us to I haven't heard anybody else say it. I'm sure there's probably somebody else that says it. There's probably somebody else that says second creation finite mechanics. I haven't heard anybody else but me say that term. If anybody else says it, it's because they probably heard it from me. The reconfiguring of the brain plug. Right? We have our brain, and our brain actually goes down our spinal cord, and there's nerves that go through and connect to different parts of the body, and it goes all the way down into the root chakra, which then connects into the planetary or Earth's morphogenic field of its core, of its root chakra connection. It's called a biofeed interface system. Okay? Yeah. So we are now in the process of initially, I kind of thought that we literally unplugged, but the more I'm learning, it's like we kind of unplugged a bit and realigned a little, but we're still kind of plugged in because we have that moon connection and some inner underground connections to an artificial matrix, mind control matrix system. So we're in the process of kind of unplugging from that and then plugging back into a more organic program to allow us to reconfigure properly back into our original, again, I'm talking about the eternal core connecting into the root chakra. There's an interrelationship between the planetary structure or earth plane structure and its light on it, okay, again, through that biofeed interface system. Talked about that. My little cheat sheet notes. I gotta also give you available to read it as well. So part of this artificial net system, again, okay, is the moon, and chaos, or Aisha, and the Voyager's book talked about it a little bit. Not a lot of attention's been talked about, but periodically she makes reference to how we're kind of plugged into the moon, and the moon's part of that sort of shutting us down, connecting us into the net Earth system. That sort of false Christ consciousness field that's around the planet, kind of locking us in. And that is another way of saying mind control. And then recently I've been listening to Rudolf Steiner's work of I've got the wording in there. Astrotheosophy. Okay, good. As well as Gigi Young, because Gigi Young is a student of Rudolf Steiner, and she's digested his material and then is branched out and integrates other things and is tuning into her own, like I am with Yesha's work, digested that, utilized it for many years, and then now have grown into my own being with it. Again, surfing my own unified field, my own morphogenic consciousness field of being, my own personal template with this information, as opposed to just sticking with the dogma of her written word and just going by that, which a lot of KSers do. They don't really, in my opinion, think for themselves. They just wait for Yesha to tell them, or just do by rote the information and techniques and stuff. But from what I understand in the beginning, at any rate, it was like you learn it first, you do it as written, you keep the harmonics of it, and then you branch out into it to your own individual personal planetary template structure of the information. Okay. And astrotheosophy, yeah, I'm saying it right. I'm still learning, so I may not have it completely right, but I know that Gigi Young's talked about this teachings of how the moon has she talks about it more in terms of etheric consciousness of the moon, tying into Venus and Mars and Mercury, of this etheric consciousness, karmic consciousness, keeping us locked into this time space until we are able to ascend to the next etheric stage of evolution. Let's see, I had a word that I liked better with that. Next up, evolution until we are initiated through. In other words, you got to jump through a shitload of hoops to be able to make it out. And Asia talks about all the hoops that you need to get out because we have this lock. And the Egyptians, worked with it in terms of, utilizing the terminology and the Amenti locked out of the Amenti sphere and stuff, your heart needs to be as light as a feather. It's kind of part of that. It's those teachings of how you can get out of being locked on net Earth, but it's via the connection with the moon. And I've 2 other locations in the ground, underground. So everybody has their particular perspective, right, on it. They're coming at it from their direction. And to me, I've been learning lately more and more. The more I see, I digest the Asia stuff, and it's always sort of felt like it's sort of been separate from everybody else. But now I'm starting to feel the power of the new information coming in. Other groups are feeling it and bringing it in their own unique ways. But particularly when I can see just teachings from the past from different perspectives, the net can't control that. As much as they try to shut down those teachings, they can't. It's too ingrained in our templates. So it's still comes out in some form or another. And interestingly, apparently on the 4th of July weekend, and I had noticed it for me, I had this sort of odd feeling like I got disconnected from my template, or like something was trying to disconnect me from my template. I felt a little ungrounded because I always like to tune into my pod space, and I was in there, but it felt kind of, something just wasn't quite right, but I didn't get like a real danger, but it felt kind of funny, and I was feeling all kinds of energetic weird stuff and disconnections and stuff, and kind of really going into my template in kind of an unusual way that I wasn't used to. And so I just really kind of worked with it, with all the beings that I work with, or with the mechanics, Cloak of the Eternal Ones, and just tuning in and breathing, and just feeling things out and releasing, and just sort of feeling. And I personally like to also add, and I do recommend with my class, is utilizing or using Orin material, and Sine Roman and Orin, and Sine Roman cut her teeth with the Seth material, just like Ayesha did, and both of them sort of branched off in their own directions, but still have the foundation of Seth in many ways. And Seth, I think, is, again, a member of the Guardian Alliance. Just going to say it. Okay. Oh, I skipped over. Okay, so so then it's there. Yeah, I had a shift, and I felt a connection, but I felt it was a different connection that was much more uplifting and felt really good. And I was like, awesome, wow, this is kind of cool. And I talked to another friend of mine, and she was saying that she was feeling a bit disconnected, and she actually had, for her, it was just this overwhelming sense of fear over nothing. I mean, she was like, it just woke her up, and she's like feeling crazy. It was on a Friday night of that weekend. And she had it that it was important for her to say no. It was almost like making a decision. I am not going to be in fear anymore. I'm especially fear that is not justified. I've already processed through the situation. I'm complete with it. Stop. And she was like, you know, well, it took her a little bit of time, but then finally she was like, okay. She felt a release. And then with my class, they kind of, in their own ways, kind of were feeling it uniquely for them. So that was interesting. And then I think after the weekend, I been guided recently to start listening to Megan Rose. She's a remote psychic viewer, and she works with the Pleiadians. And this particular Pleiadian group, I do believe, this is what I get intuitively, take it or leave it. All my information, take it or leave it. If it resonates with you, awesome possums. If it doesn't, you can turn me off and never listen to me again, and I'm okay with that. I've gotten to the point in my life, I'm okay with that. There's a lot of people that are not going to get me, and I am okay with that. But the people that do get me, awesome, will grow together into New Earth. Okay. Anyway, I've kind of been I like to explore. So I've a few other different groups and people and stuff that have been talking about their connection with these Pleiadians, and I know there's like more than one group of Pleiadians and stuff, but there's this particular group that people are working with that has been very positive experiences for them and good information that they've been receiving. And I do believe that they're connected to the white hats, just say that, and the new organic money system that's in the process of coming up underneath the old net artificial slave system that we've been living under for like a while, as I'll just say that old program is dismantling bit by bit, because we've got some good friends out there that are working it behind the scenes. So even though on the front it appears like we have the admin beat team running the show, no. No, not really, except incriminating themselves with every action they take, so that yes, they will be processed. But yeah, if anybody else has been following along this particular Pleiadian group, which, listening to Gigi Young's group, I have a feeling there's a tie-in to the Venusians and Lemuria connection, which again is very angelic human. So it's in Guardian Alliance. So there's a tie-in to this particular group. Yeah, and I've connected with them, and just a very beautiful, loving, peaceful, balanced, centered energy so far that I've experienced. Anyway, Megan had a video that she did about that 4th of July weekend, and how she remote viewed her particular intuitive psychic way, working with the Pleiadians, working with her. She's Pleiadian. She looks like a Pleiadian, apparently. And she, basically the bottom line was that group, and I still get it's working with the Guardian Alliance. I know Aisha hasn't given the, yes, it's truth, but I think Aisha is a particular function and to the whole organization, and I think she brings in the information. She downsteps the technicals and some history and certain things, but as far in gives us some current events. But I think because of all that's gone down personally in the last few years, I don't think she's in a bigger role as she used to be. I think we're getting a branching out. I think we're going into other avenues for like current event situations, not the technicals. That's still Aisha's purview, Aisha's place, Aisha's thing. So anyway, Megan and team, or not Megan, the Pleiadians connected with her and remote viewed with her and showed her that they, as with, I'm going to say the Guardian Alliance, we'll also say the Galactic Federation. Oh my God, I know. I'm not really 100% person myself with the Galactic Federation. I am a KSer. I do go by the what I've learned with the Voyager's material and so forth. And but I get intuitively that they are going through a lot of reconfiguration and a lot of changes. But anyway, so I think that, and actually they have, a lot of them have come to, when I'm doing class or doing group work, I also have a private grid keepers, HDR grid keepers group every once in a while that meets, and they have participated in hosting into with the Guardian Alliance stuff, the current stuff that we're utilizing. So there's a lot going on with that. So I'm not going to poo-poo on the Galactic Federation anymore. I'm not going to say they're just total bad guys. I think they are getting there. So all of them together, but I really think the Guardian Alliance for sure, because they would be the ones that would have the mechanics and technology and ability to do this, because they've been working with us forever, doing all kinds of stuff, helping us. So we got another level of unplug, but this time out of the moon matrix mind control system, and this is like a base, so there's all kinds of other stuff involved with it, but we're focusing on that satellite, okay, that it's connected to, and which I'm going to talk about. But yeah, anyway, there's this satellite within the moon, and we got plugged out of it, and then that got disengaged, and then however way the Guardian Alliance have done it, again, just, my intuition, take it or leave it, but it explains a lot of what I felt and others have felt. We then got plugged back into some kind of system working with the organic Cathar grid, matrix structure that's realigning that brain plug to where we will connect organically. Which brings me now, because I listened to her video after that weekend. Yes, in fact, a few days later or so. And I was, is that right? No, okay, so anyway, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool, got that. And then later in the week, after that weekend, I was driving home and from someplace, and I was listening to Gigi Young's Q&A, one of her Q&As, and someone had asked her about the Sasquatch. And she was like, "Oh, cool! Yeah, that's right. I really like him. Yeah, I'd really like to experience them too, be with them too." And she talked a little bit about her experience. But for me, it activated me. I was like, "Oh, God, that's right. I haven't communicated with them for a while, but yeah, I live in a rural area in Georgia, and I was, I feel them, their presence. I haven't really done too much with them recently, but I like I said." I don't know if I said that. Anyway, they do periodically connect in when I do group work with the HDR Grid Keepers group. They've worked with me, with the group. And so I have a little bit of connection. They're very interdimensional beings, okay? Kind of coming in and out of our world, so they can kind of pop in wherever they want, and they connect psychically a lot. And so I felt the male come in. I was like, oh yes, warmth and love, and just very, just very gentle. And then okay, yeah, I'll connect. Thank you so much for connecting with me. And then I felt the presence behind him, because he's like the guard to the family, so to speak. And then I connected into the group behind him, which were a group of predominantly females of varying ages, and one particular was the elder, the grandma, strong grandma presence, and she was letting me know that, or it almost seemed like they all were letting me know, but because it was a psychic thing, that how much a part, and I'd always felt that they were part, but they were really reiterating really part of where I'm at. And particularly, and there have been periods where they bred with, or had relations with humans. And I got that there were certain families in the general area, and I kind of knew one particular one that they're connected with. It was like, oh, interesting, okay. So really holding a space in these grids, which I thought was really awesome, and part of why I'm here. And when I do my Grid Keepers work, I have ancestors of place of these grids here. There's a tie-in to Atlantis here. It's powerful spot here. So much for the new Earth. It's really the old Earth. And then they talked about, then they showed me, had me go into the Earth, but I couldn't get where it was, but I just got this image in the Earth someplace, this rock formation. And then as soon as I could see the rock formation, this, what looked like a satellite, and I got satellite intuitively, came up above it. And I had first also gotten with this rock formation that it's connected to different places throughout the world, throughout the Earth plane. And I kind of have a feeling somewhere in my grids there's some interlock-in, because anyway, there's a network of energy lines and energy centers, ley lines and stuff. And this particular area ties into probably a few different things. But then I spaced, couldn't focus in on it anymore. And then I focused, then later in the day, I kind of was like, oh, yeah. It was almost like I was pulled away, but then I was like, no, wait a minute, I want to learn more. And I was like, okay, well, how do we connect? How are people connected to this satellite? And I kind of, because I think I had listened to the moon thing, so I had a feeling it had something maybe to do with that. And maybe it had to do with one of the inner or underground Earth things, but I didn't know which one, because I think she had said there was two, at least one, maybe two. And so they showed me, people's hair, like static electricity, but they really exaggerated, like people's hair on end, out, that through people's hair antenna connects them in to their brain. And I would say there's a variety of other things that really heighten that connection, like the I'm trying to remember the lauryl sulfate or laurate. I can't remember what it is. Lauryl sulfate something or other stuff that's in shampoos. I've heard that kind of can help with that connection. And I'm trying to think, there's some other things too. Probably, with the spraying stuff, that probably in the air does it, increases that connection. So I was like, okay. And then I spaced again. But I knew that it was like the day before my regular, every 2 weeks we meet for our seminar, Grid Keepers seminar group, HDR Grid Keepers group, and a 6-month class. And I was like, okay, I don't know what we're going to do. I can't, every time I try to really focus any more on it, I space, but that doesn't surprise me because I had this sense it was kind of what we call, not lockdown, in the KS world, with the guardians, kind of guardian time, but there's kind of protocols where there's certain things you don't talk about. I think it's because of that interconnectedness with that mind control system. There's certain things you sort of keep quiet because if you talk about too much, and that's really what happened in January and November through January stuff. Everybody was talking about, psychics were talking, everybody was telling you know who what the plan was. Well, it got hijacked. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's why there's a lot of not really talking about stuff anymore, but a lot of stuff's being done. Just saying, anybody just feeling disheartened, don't. Hold the line. Keep breathing, tuning in. What world do you want to create? And focus on that, and don't, we've got a bifurcation, 2-world split. Don't connect into that disharmonic world, the be-it. Please don't. There is a positive new world, organic world, but we got to keep focusing on it. Keep focusing on it, and not off in the weeds over there. All right. Okay, so and again, if you guys, as I'm talking, have any questions, just put them down in the chat below, and I will at some point get back to you. Okay, we did that. Actually, better talk to. Okay, according to Megan Rose. Okay. Then, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I'm skip something because I did it off in my own head. All right, and not looking, not keeping good attention to my my notes here. Yeah. The moon thing was earlier. Then that Friday, during the day, I had that experience. And then that evening, I came across a recent that she had posted that day where she remote viewed and connected into one of the underground artificial satellites in New Mexico. And I'm going to say that's the same one that's the I keep getting yes. That's the same one that I was tuning into as well. So it was coming at it, I'm sure there were other people around the world that probably had their own experience with this too, personally. They're just not talking about it, okay? At least not publicly like I am apparently now, and Megan Rose does. And she talked in great detail, and I would definitely subscribe to Megan Rose's channel, YouTube channel, and just start looking through all her material. But I can't even remember exactly the wording that she had with it, but it's one of her most recent ones. So you can just start right at the top. And she talked about a lot of the different things that are that base, underground base, which I think has a big wide area, and I'm trying to remember, because I've heard other people talk about the underground base in New Mexico. I think it's the same base that people talk about, the aliens, the Drax, the whole bit. There's so many underground tunnel systems in New Mexico. It's that go for miles and miles and actually end up going all over the world. But yes, she was talking. Now she didn't talk about how they did anything to at least I don't remember her saying anything about disconnecting it. She was just making a reference that it was there and what was going on. And it was almost like a signal to me, okay, this is it. This is what you're tuning into. So I was like, interesting. Okay, so again, I couldn't focus on it anymore, but I got the heads up. So it was pretty awesome when I connected into class, and we ended up did I miss anything? Understand satellite connects. Okay, I got that. Okay, her video. Yeah, I figured something good would happen because, well, there's always something good, but I never get completely what's going to happen. I go by the seat of my pants with these classes because I'm not really running the show, the Guardian Alliance. My clan family, the Alhambra, are that group and team, and the Ianya Topelia Ure, and all those guys, all those good updated Guardian guys, they run the team. They run the show. They're doing it. I hold space, and I'm a channel for it, information for it, but again, and nobody channels through me except for me, me as Wha'Nitah, right? That's it, and all of what that connects with comes through. But the Guardian team come in, we chat, talk, get information, insights, and all kinds of things. They hold space, we all hold space together, and whatever it is that's the grids and energies and people are ready to do falls into place. And I just follow my SEPA, Self-Empowerment Principle of Awareness information book that I created for the class, and the topics seem to just sort of tie together and keeps kind of an order, but yet it expands out into the order. It's kind of unique, actually. I guess because I'm just not really good at promoting it. I'm surprised there's not more people involved with the class. But anyway, okay, so yeah, got that. Yeah, I also got that it was called that Earth's. When I tuned more in, when after class, and I did the audio recording for you guys, I went back in, I got even more information. And of course more happened during the class. Because during the class, we connected into these stone beings. I'm trying, and sort of from a molecular level, stone consciousness, and they are the beings that actually create planets, planetary Earth planet structures, and the matrix or holographic matrix pertaining to that world. And they were like, oh, we've never met a human before like this. This is kind of awesome. And we were like, oh, okay. Okay. And so it's kind of fun. So we worked with them, and through connecting with them, and of course all the other guardians, we connected into this original organic matrix rock formation that they put together back in the day, right? And we were able to, in essence, start the disengaging, breaking down process of the artificial satellite system. At least that's what we were getting, and connecting it back into this organic structure. It was kind of fascinating with that, of opening up into it, and certain things shifting and changing, and these beings coming up out of it, and us connecting with them, and it was just very beautiful and spiritual and powerful, just really intense. So it's really awesome making that connection, and how that's sort of branching out to, because like I say, with this class, we connect with with our ancestors, our personal blood ancestors, our ancestors of place and bone, our star or celestial ancestors, and bring them all in together, and work through the harmonization with being part of the Guardian Alliance system. And so there's, again, it's wild, the things that happen. But when I tuned back in for you guys, without the rest of the group. It was just by myself and tuning back in. The Sasquatch guys came. I keep getting the Aquari. I think is also what they're called. I was going to look it up and then I keep forgetting. They're in the Voyagers book as one of the Guardian Alliance groups. And there's also, interestingly, a connection with the Aqua Fairies with Jeshua's Amsterdam and connection, and White Buffalo Woman, kind of albino people, and which connects into Yesha, her lineage. Kind of working with them, bringing in the Cloak of the Eternal One energy, and which is also the great protector energy that I talk about when we do this. You do the session. But connecting in, yeah, they very much. It was very special that how they came in and worked with potential. They're interdimensional beings. They kind of move in and out of time in their own unique way, which I think that's why I started getting the nudge to just do what for you guys, and also my internet's a little sketchy, but I have the capability now of being able to, through I think their connection, this is what I'm getting, that I can do this by myself, but yet and also there's something I connect with for those that have been following me, the Wha'Nitah zone. I connected to the field, the crystal bridgeway, Seven Bridges flows, integral bridge within the crystal caverns, and then that connects into something called the Wha'Nitah zone, and it's sort of a trans-time dimensional place that has working on a lot of different things, but in that space I go in there, it's trans-time dimensional, so I can hold a space there for everybody that's going to come at different times. And then when I have the Sasquatch in there, they really hold that space too. So they basically, whenever anybody connects into this link of this audio, MP3 audio recording, they'll literally connect in with a particular Sasquatch family or group that is tied to them in some way, right? To energetically work with them and help them to disengage from the from the artificial program net satellite and start connecting into the organic. And it's just very unique and interesting and fascinating. And you're gonna really enjoy this session. Let's see. And I also get that as we're kind of, because we did a lot in our little class, but let's not front. It has a certain quantum to it, and it's a certain power to it, but it's not as powerful as if you get every person, not every person, but many more people connecting into this, what we started, what we linked up into. The more people that link up into it, the more it disengages that artificial satellite and helps people engage to the organic. And I've got a feeling there's going to probably be a quantum of people that will really just, and it'll be unique to everybody doing it, and it's whatever point that occurs. That's kind of what I get. Take it again. Take it or leave it. I don't care. Whatever. I changed my Facebook image to a hummingbird because I kept getting that image more and more lately. I really need to start speaking. I really need to start singing. I really need to start sharing the messages that I receive. Even though I'm a little scared about it because I don't want to be judged and all that business, but I'm going to have to deal with that. There's just going to be those people that I'm not going to like me, even no matter what direction they come from. They're just going to have to say something, but that's okay. That's all right. I got my big panties on now. I'm good. I can do it. before I end with the notes, I also had gotten, when I went in the second time, that these rock formations, which again are made up of iron, gold, silver, iron, magnetite, anyway, all kinds of different metals and stones. It's not just like what you consider rock. It's not just limestone it's limestone. It has all kinds of different metals into it, and it holds the Earth's organic holographic Hall of Records. Okay, and that's part of creating that morphogenetic holographic field. A reality is there's a records component to it, and more. I may down the road get more on that. We will see. But you guys tuning into it as well through this session, you can start connecting in, and I would love to hear what other people come up with when they're tuning into this energy, what they get, in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. So yeah. Yes. And I also can't help but think that doing this particular journey meditation, that you will begin to start surfing and navigating your way right through the unified field of life a whole heck of a lot better. Okay. All right, so below is what I decided to do, because it takes kind of a little bit of energy out of me that I don't need to be doing so much of. I do the introductory audio. I've done an introductory updated, at any rate, introductory audio recording, HDR audio recording, that goes through all the steps to get the person into their pod space and settled in and kind of getting into a light trance state. And then the part where when that happens, and then we're starting to really get into the crystal cavern part, I will then have an updated, new harmonizing journey with Katie-Yoshi Wha'Nitah session to connect with that. So yes, there's two parts. And for newbies, okay, it's so important. And again, I was talking. Oh, I hadn't talked about that yet. Okay, I guess I got to get to that part. But the old people that have been doing this, they don't need to. They can just do their own way of going in. The ones that have been doing this for a while don't have to go through all those steps unless they want to. But I just, and this is kind of, again, me kind of stepping now more into my power and not being a wussy puss. Really being me, being Katie-Yoshi, or Oshi Wha'Nitah more, Katie-Yoshi Wha'Nitah more, is one of the issues, particularly for old and new KSers. Obviously, I think people that are just in the quote-unquote New Age movement in general, it's, I guess, not as big an issue. But those that are saying, hey, I really want to get into this science, which I think is beautiful, because it is the organic, original science that everything else is built upon. So kudos to those that are actually able to do that. And very much, yes, please follow Arrayas Productions, okay? ArrayasProductions.com for sure. Yesha, Ashiana Dean, Yesha, now Arrayas. For sure, her Katie Dale material, her sliders material, will heighten and intensify the work that you do with me, okay? But this is where I'm going to stand in my power now. And again, take it or leave it, but this is what I really feel in my heart. I've been feeling it for a while. I just was wussy about saying it because I was kind of caught up with everybody else. Yeah, she hasn't given me permission. She hasn't given me okay. I can't do it. I can't say it. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. Thank you very much. At least not when I can help it. I am going to stand in my power and say, all right, that you can do, those of you that are afraid of doing light body work without doing the plasma body work and feel like they have to do a whole bunch of hooping with the Yesha's work, plasma work, that August 2013 workshop technique thing with I think it was connecting with the Alhambra and connecting. And I did it, a few different times way back in the day. Guess it was connecting with the Alhambra and those records there connect. Anyway, awesome, great, powerful work journey, but you don't have to do it before you do my introductory session. My introductory session connects you with the Alhambra and connects you with your plasma body anatomy. It does the same thing. So you get it taken care of doing my session. It activates your organic plasma body. So then you can work with whatever you want to work with, because go in the pod space, really run that energy, really integrate it, really connect with your organic, authentic family, your clan family, your higher self. Connect with your pillar, your vertical, your essence, who you are. And then do anything else that you want to do. But yes, for sure, standing on your manifestation template. Pure, strong, balanced, grounded, expanding up and out into the neural network pathways of your eternal mind of creation. You can do it. It's powerful. Okay? But again, I'm not saying not to complete that August 2013 technique from Arrays Productions website. It is their protocol. Okay? It's their requirement to do Aisha's work. But it's not my protocol to do HDR work, okay? Both techniques get you to the same place. Both work with the Alhambra again, and both work with the plasma spirit body mechanics, all right? But with that said, I will say that August 2013 technique was the first activation to connect with your organic plasma body. Without this technique and the science that followed it, I do have to say that, and I stand in that strongly, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment sessions would never have been born. Okay? I would never have done it. I would have done my harmonizing meditation that I started out with. But I would never have got it to where it is today. All right? Even doing the sliders material, it wasn't there for me with the pod space until I was able to incorporate the full sliders material with that plasma body work. And developing my relationship with the Alhambra, all right? That was huge. My family, all right? I feel probably more of a connection with them than I do with the more direct to hear Liani. I have some, but not like I do with the Alhambra, okay? And some of the other newer ones. I really feel more of a connection with these higher, newer energies. And I feel they helped me during that 2011, 2012, into 2013, when there was that energetic consciousness reality of, and they're still there, that consciousness reality is still there, of the fatally, the dark time lords, is still very real, but because it's a construct we created, it's real, as all it is, and I could not have held my own and done what I, still be here today, if it weren't for doing this work and connecting in and developing a relationship with the Alhambra. So, and team, and we start really utilizing that pod space technology and really gaining an understanding of what it is and how much I, didn't realize it was just knowledge within me as well, because I am able to use it in particular ways because it's just, I'm apparently a Wha'Nitah so, as well, and a Tantra Asia. So I definitely work with that, and fingers crossed, it looks like I'll actually be able to connect in the next few months with my actual Tantra Asia twin. I connected with someone that I had karma with, deep-seated, heavy karma with, relationship-wise, blocking me to making that connection. So I had to go through that relationship, but thinking that they were that person, but they weren't. So anyway, but they were still a significant person for me. And this is kind of something that I wasn't going to talk about, but I'm actually getting to talk about. And, oh Lord have mercy. Okay. Golly! This has been a long talk. So, you may have a relationship with someone that's very destructive, and you feel really karmically tied, and you really feel like you really love this person, and you consider yourself an indigo, and even maybe to a certain extent kind of see maybe they might be, but yet you kind of feel like they might be a little bit more Anunnaki lineage. There was a point in history where one of our missions to do something planetarily, this is what I've been getting recently, we braided with certain Anunnakis to help, because Anunnakis are an integral part of this planet, and to say that they're not is just idiotic, okay, for some of the chaosers out there. They've been such a part of our planetary structure, particularly the third seeding, because they're the Anu Melchizedeks, okay? The Anu Melchizedeks, sorry. So anyway, so yes, so it was braided, and so we were bound to each other, and we were supposed to do whatever to heal, I think, the stuff going on with the Anu Melchizedek lineage. Anyway, that went awry, but we didn't get. So this lifetime has really been unbraiding. It's been very difficult, very, very hard. I physically got very sick. Still physically, I'm healing from it. Hip problems, just a lot of physical stuff going on because of that connection. He tried to rip it apart, and I kind of had my own trauma of other pasts with it, and it was just awful. But anyway, it's a lot better and a lot more healed, and I feel now like I can disengage bit by bit, more and more every day, and have opened up to actually being able to connect with my original Tantra Asia twin, which are split apart, which has been a really long time. So I'm excited about that. All right, I will, just real quick before we close, if anybody's interested in doing an introductory session, or attending my upcoming HJR Grid Keepers group September 2021 class, the links are below. Also for that seminar, the class that lasts for 6 months, that we meet twice a month basically, or every 2 weeks, so it depends on the month. Usually it's twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month, and for 2 hours. Usually goes a little bit over the 2 hours, depending on what's going on. But I have on Saturday, August 7th, will be my biannually, I guess, HDR Grid Keeper Skype Q&A session. And so when you click on the HDR Seminar Series link, you can pull the details up for that, and the link, or the Skype link for that. And that also, when you pull in that and saying that you want to go, that kind of lets me know who's attending and how many people are there, and to make sure everything's working right. And also, if you want to continue getting information and keep up to date, I have an HDR seminars email list, so you can become a part of that, and you get, when you the welcome letter, you receive a PDF copy of the introductory session with some background FAQs and frequently asked questions, and an audio recording of the intro. Now this is the basic intro. This one that you're coming up to, that's a little bit more updated, but still you get the full intro, the whole shebang through it. Okay, love you guys, and holy moly, we're at the hour mark. Bless you. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.